Hello, so is it more difficult to fix a fear, phobia or anxiety that you've had since birth compared to someone who's only recently got it? Well, in this video I'm going to answer that interesting question which often comes up during therapy sessions. I would say that there are two types of people I work with in general. There are those that have simply never liked driving from the beginning. They never even wanted to learn to drive, they put it off for years, and then they hated it when they did it. And then there are those, and this is more common, when people drove for years. I've had people who've driven for 30, 40 years or more, and then suddenly they developed a fear out of the blue. So it came out of nowhere suddenly, and they just couldn't drive. And people do ask me, is it more difficult to fix one than the other? Well, to answer this question, I'm going to tell you a bit of a story about my life, because if I talk about just driving, if you have a fear of driving, may find that hard to understand. So we're going to kind of take the context out of it, and I'm going to talk about something that's affected my life and see what you think about this. So all my life I've always hated people, which sounds quite bad, I know. I am not a team player. I hate being in a team. If you put me in a team, I will slaughter everyone else in the team and then just do the work myself. I can't stand being in a team, in a group. I hate it. Sports, work, can't do it. I work alone, I live alone. I like being alone. Now, I had therapy to find out why this was, and we traced it back years and years to when I was about 4 years old. And I remember the first time I ever went into a nursery, and it was a bit like a scene from Home Alone. I saw all these other people and kids, and I just screamed the place down. I hated being around people. And even when I was a baby, my mum says, whenever they took me out anywhere and there were people around, I used to scream. So I've always had this thing about hating being in groups of people, and I just don't like it, never liked it. I've always liked being on my own. That problem has never really been fixed. Now, you see, the reason I'm telling you this is it really a problem? Because the way I look at this is, it isn't a problem. It's just my personality, my characteristics. It's not a problem, it's just how I am. And some people will tell you, oh no, there must have been an event that happened in your childhood. You must have been dropped as a baby, or you must have been born in a cold room. These are all theories I've heard. And that's why you can't accept love and you don't like being around people. Yeah, you can believe that if you want, but I believe that you are just how you are. In therapy, you get taught that everyone is born as a clean slate and everyone's the same. And when you grow up, you only like or dislike things because of your experiences. Well, I don't really believe that, because I'll tell you now from my experience of working with people, and don't let this put you off, but I'm just being honest with you, if you've had a fear of driving forever, like since you were a kid you hated being a passenger and you hated learning to drive, you are less likely to fix it than if you're someone who used to love it and now doesn't like it. Because I can hear therapists screaming, oh no, that's wrong, you shouldn't say that because everyone can be fixed and there's a solution to everyone. In other words, you just want to take everyone's money because you don't want to risk turning clients away. That's the way I look at it. If you come to me and say you've never ever liked driving, for me, even when you learn to drive, it doesn't mean you can't fix it. Yes, you can, but I found that it's harder because there is something there that's deeper, that's more resistant. I've worked with therapists on my problem. Is it a problem? Is it just personality of not liking being around people? Yeah, I can do driving lessons. Yeah, I do therapy. But you put me in a team and say you're part of a team, football team. Yeah, no way. Hate being part of a team. And I've had therapists pulling their hair out, working out why this is. And I say, look, you're wasting your time because it's just how I am. And they say, it's not just how you are. You can change. I don't believe you can. My experience is when I work with people who have always disliked driving from the beginning, it's tougher because there's something deeper there. Yes, I've done it. Yes, you can get a result, but it's tougher because If you get someone who's always loved it, let's say up to the age of 50, then they had anxiety, there's a lot more to work with. You can say to them, well, look, remember when you used to love it? And they say, yeah, I know, I used to love it. They've got that feeling like I used to love it. I used to really enjoy it. You can't do that with someone who's always disliked it. Now, I'm not saying you can't fix it, because you can. I've had clients who have never liked it, and we found out it's just because something did happen in the childhood and we worked on it and fixed it. But I'm just being brutally honest with you, because I think that if you've always had a fear and a phobia for as long as you can remember, like, I wouldn't call it a phobia, but my thing about not liking being around people, I don't see that ever changing, because I just don't see how you can change that. That's just how I am. And I've been through this. I went through 2 years of therapy, over 50 sessions. Didn't change a thing. Nothing changed. Maybe other parts of my life did, yeah, but not that. And I'm just being honest with you. I'd love to know what you think. Do you believe the theory that everyone is a clean slate, and that you can overcome any fear, any phobia, and you can always change things? Or do you believe, sort of like I do, that sometimes you are just how you are? And you know, the funny thing is that I've kind of fixed people's fear sometimes by telling them that. By saying, look, you haven't got a problem, it's just how you are. It's just you. And they say, you know what? Yeah, it's not a problem, it's not something to overcome. There is no fear, there is no past event, there's no dark memory needs to come up in hypnosis. I just don't like you very much. And that's just how it is. And it's the same for everyone's got their own things. Like, I remember the first time I ever saw a hypnotherapist years ago, when I first started thinking about doing this. I went to see one, and I said to him, can you explain why I've never liked a certain thing? I went, so what, but I've never liked this certain thing. And he said, well, maybe you just don't like it. There's not always a dark, hidden, mysterious reason hidden in the depths of your subconscious. Sometimes you just don't like something. Now, if it's driving, that's quite a bad one, because people say, well, I need to drive to work and I need to do it and I want to do it, but I just can't. But think about my problem. It's caused havoc in my life, where I fell out with many people, friendships or whatever, where I just couldn't be around them. But I don't see it as a problem. I have made other videos about how a problem is only a problem if you see it as a problem, so check out that one on the screen now. It's about driving on highways. Thanks for watching this video. Do let me know your thoughts, and as always, I'll see you again soon for more videos.